Ready.
Hi, welcome to Five Feline Farm. This is our garden, and it's a pretty good sized garden, and we have about 60 raised beds in here. We've done everything from in ground. We went from a 25 by 25 garden to a 50 by 50 when we were market vendors, and it just keeps getting bigger. So we just keep adding. So today is the day that I've decided to plant tomatoes. And we start all of our tomatoes from seed. So these are all heirloom varieties. And because of that, the heirloom varieties tend to get leggy. So that means they get, kind of flimsy shoots and they won't really hold a tomato. And that's not really what I want. And so because now we do a more reasonable amount of tomatoes, and I have the luxury of not competing with other gardeners, here we are on May 3rd. It's a little bit early according to our frost date, but as far as I can tell, we have no frost. And if we would have something that's a surprise, we have a plan to cover these. So it's actually best it was uh, not sunny when I started this morning, but it is supposed to cloud up. So it's actually a little bit better to do it when it's a little cloudy. But let me show you the process. So these were started in the basement by from seed in February. So these have been hardened off, and what that means is they've been prepared gradually to come to the garden, so they're not babied. But you will know that if they can come out of the pot easily, which that just did. So I'm going to stick it back in here for a minute. And I did water them some this morning, which you wouldn't have to because I'm going to water them again once I get everything planted. But this is a San Marzano, and we plant mostly paste tomatoes, um, tomatoes that we can use for canning. So I'm going to show you how I do this. And again, there's all kinds of gardeners that will do it different ways. Let me get my bucket here so that I can get that trimmed up. So I'm going to make a trench and kind of go by how long the tomato is. So I'm going to go, you don't have to do them super deep when you plant them horizontally, but I'm going to go, I've already worked the bed this morning, and I added our own compost about 2 weeks ago, let that rain on it a couple of times, and I have worked the bed mostly with this. So Cobra tools are excellent, and when you've got beds, raised beds, you don't have to have one with a handle, but I do have one, so I did that just to get a little bit deeper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this plant, let me get all my tools out here, and I'm going to take it out of the pot and trim that thing up. Take quite a bit of these off because it doesn't really need those, because pruning is something you can do with tomatoes anyway, and we may talk about that later. But then I'm just going to put this down here in the hole and pull that up. And I've got some, I think I'll trim a little bit more off of it. I wouldn't have to. But one of the things about heirloom tomatoes, they're also susceptible to blight, which means they get kind of ugly, and actually they will survive that, but it does make them look really bad. So I'm going to try to get some of that off of the ground. But that's all there is to it. So I will water this pretty soon, and that's planting heirloom tomatoes.